Now this is the contents of the warbird kit. We have an unfinished face, a mounting block, a silver plated concho, one or two turquoise stones, glass seed bead headband, about 10 assorted glass crow trade beads, an imitation eagle feather, 12 inches of red wool yarn, and 12 inches of leather lace, plus the instructions for putting the kit together. This is the tail block supplied with each kit. I like to paint the edges a flat black prior to assembly of the kit. Okay, so we have our mounting kit, and we're going to put a warbird together. One of the first things I like to do is prepare the imitation eagle feather, so I cut about an inch or so off the end of it. And we're going to take, since the stems are hollow, the quills are hollow, we just squirt a little hot melt glue in there and insert a piece of the end of the 1/8 inch leather lace that comes in the mounting kit. Then with a little gob of glue on the end, I glue the wool yarn and I do a twist. Tie a knot in the end of it. A little drop of glue. And the feather's done. Then throw in a couple of beads, 2 or 3 contrasting color beads, and your imitation eagle feather is completed. Now on to the concho. I like to glue in a piece of deerskin, about a 1/2 inch wide by 1.5 inches long. Insert that into the concho. I attach the concho with a short piece of soft copper wire. This goes around inside the concho. Once that's in, I glue down the leather. Now if you don't have any leather, any kind of fabric will do. Actually a nice little piece of rabbit fur looks beautiful coming out of there. And now we're ready to glue the feather in. And trim it. The feather's done. Now on to the beard. I like to crush the end of the beard while it's a little soft and actually round it out and poke a hole down through the center and shoot some glue down in there. Then I'll stuff a piece of the leather lace down into the end of the beard. Then it's a matter of trimming out the beard just like we did with the feather. So we're going to add a couple extra beads on there. This customer his turkey came with spurs. When I cut the spurs loose, I usually take and blow out the leg bone. There's bone marrow in there, just blow it out with compressed air. And then I soak them overnight in some fish skin pickle. Let them dry, sand off the edges, and they're ready to mount. You don't have to use all the beads, just whatever you feel like. You can be very creative. So there we have our spurs ready to glue on. Lay it down in there, trim off the end, and that portion with the concho. Now onto the face. For the most part, most all my faces come with a notch at the top, and that's to accept the headbands. A little hot melt glue at the top holds that on, and I like to make sure that the headband does not expose the top of the warbird face. So I like to creep it up a little bit, and so that'll be glued on about like that. Now, the concho will be attached with those two little wires about there. These holes were just little, they're fairly small, little 3/32 drill. Is all that's needed. Then I finish gluing the headband on. When that's done, we're ready to mount the concho. So the concho, the two little wires, they get poked into those two holes. The wires are through, I just bend them over, and the face is prepared with the concho. Now for the fun part. First, go to the mounting block. So the mounting block we've blackened the edges, and we're going to screw that to the face. Now, I like to pre-drill the face with very small holes, maybe 3/32, just inside from the inside edge of the face. Make sure you don't drill into the eye. So just below the eye, and about an inch apart is where those holes are going to go. Probably about 1/4 of an inch inside the edge. Now I don't tighten this block down completely. I like to just leave it a little bit loose. And the reason I do that is so that it easily accepts the wing. And it will slip right into, goes right into that pocket just like that. We hold it in there, and then a couple of 2-inch number 6 drywall screws put in at about roughly a 45-degree angle. Those get driven into the mache, and you see that wing suck in there? They suck that wing right into that patented wing pocket. And when that's in nice and tight, you can snug down the face screws. And the wing is mounted. I like to see the wings nice and tight up against this forehead area. This customer wanted a tail, and it fits right into that 2-inch wing slot or tail slot in the mounting block. I like to have the tail feather about level with the eye. I like to Bondo that in, little gobble Bondo in there will hold it right in there. One other thing we need to do is put a little hanger bracket on. I like these little brackets from Mackenzie's. They work rather well. One other thing that I like to do, add the turquoise stone. I like to use shoe glue to glue it onto this little piece of leather. The shoe glue seems to hold onto the stone better than the hot melt glue does. So let that dry. And sheath, you're done.